So this is one of the first videos that I'm making after a very long time with this project. As you can see, the engine has been fully assembled. Everything's been put onto it. So the reason why it's been a while since I've done a video on this project of mine is because there was a lot that's happened, personally in life, and I needed to give it a little bit of a backseat for that period of time. But now I have the opportunity to work on the car again, so I'm trying to finish everything up so that there's less time being spent on the vehicle, and I'll have more time to enjoy driving it. As you can see, it's been completed. The lighting in the area that I'm working in is not that good, but we've got the Y pipe installed. We don't have any of the piping from the turbo inlets going into it as yet. I've got all of those stored away so that when I need it, I can put it in place. I've got the flex plate installed, as well as the turbos on the vehicle. Engine mountings are installed as well. I've got my oil filter in place with the oil cooler that's been changed, and I've got a new aux belt on. I've installed the alternator as well as the pump for the aircon. For the most part, it's complete. Let's see, on this side I've also got everything installed. So these turbos have been modified with bigger compressor wheels and turbine wheels, and a result of that is that I needed to machine out the housings. I will put up pictures of that now so that you can see the work that was done on it.
Watching it end again and again. I feel it in waves, you follow me, drifting to places I should leave.
So here I've got the ICMs installed. I'm going to be running the original configuration when it comes to coils. I'm not going to convert to 2-liter T coil packs as yet. I first want to get the engine running before I start modifying in that aspect so that I know all the wiring is working correctly. Most of the wiring has been re-wrapped in material tape. This tape has a little bit of fiberglass in it, so it stops the heat from penetrating. I still have the last 6 connectors to finish up. They are for the injectors and they are in rather bad shape. So for the most part, that's what's left to do wiring wise. I still need to install the exhaust on this vehicle. I need to make that up still. That's not something that I have that's readily available in this country, so I'm gonna need to find a way to fabricate that. So this is the gearbox we're going to be using. It is the original 2.8 Quattro Tiptronic box. It has been completely serviced. The last thing that I need to do is to pump fluid into it. It's about 8 liters of fluid that needs to go into this box. As you can see, I still need to clean out this area over here. Once that's done, then I know that the torque converter can fit into that area, and then the engine and gearbox can be bolted up. For the most part, I'm going to be using a lot of the original parts that I had previously. There's not going to be a lot that's going to be changed because I want to make sure that this engine does work correctly. I'll put up a list in the description of all of the changes that I've made on this engine. As you can see, the spider hose has been rebuilt with Samco Sport piping, and hopefully that lasts a little longer than the original one. It was a little tedious getting that sorted out, but I think that it's something that needed to be done in order to keep the car from having any issues in terms of the PCV system. So the next task that I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the injector plugs. I've got to recrimp a few of them, and once that's done, then I can wrap them in the material tape or tester tape, and that will be the wiring that's been completed. I need to still label them as to which injector is for which cylinder. Once that's done, then I'll know for sure which one goes to which injector.
To the edge of something so perfect. We were too scared to take the leap. I'm missing the way we used to be. Let me go. Let me in this mess I'm falling. Never know. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. We couldn't get any Tried to forget all that we had. I'm rolling like water in the sea. The memories crashing into me. So close to the edge of something so worth it. You had the world right at your feet, and almost is all we'll ever be. We can't get any closer.
So I've just completed the injector wiring, and as you can see, I've labeled them as well. And that's cylinder 1, 2, and 3. And this is cylinder 4, 5, and 6. I've also had to do the coils wiring. This Loom had cut wires inside it, so I needed to solder most of the wiring back and then trace them to make sure that they were going to the correct component. So now that I've done all of that, I've sealed up the Loom with the tester tape or material tape, and now I can start cleaning all of these connectors. You can see that they're quite dusty and dirty, so I just want it to look nice and neat. Because the engine is so nice and clean going into this car, it's those fine touches that add to the end product.
Let me go. Left me in this mess I'm falling. Never know. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why.
just completed cleaning all of these connectors. So as you can see, everything looks nice and clean. It's a bit of a tedious process, but once you go through it and you get done with it, it's actually quite rewarding to know that all of your connectors are clean. I also cleaned the plugs for these ICMs as well as this ICM over here. This is a replacement, this is an original. I hope that it does work for what I require. This plug is for the MAF. I am running a Bosch MAF. So I got this plug from a site here in SA. If you guys do need this, just pop me a message or comment on this video, and then I will send you the link to the site where you can get these. The site also sells these Bosch connectors for your injectors. I'm going to get another plug because I do need to replace this one over here. This goes to one of the cam adjuster solenoids for the VVT. So I'll probably get that in the next week or so. But overall, all of the cabling is clean with regard to all of the sensors. I just need to tackle the plugs for the gearbox and this little harness for the starter and the alternator as well. So that's all that I have for today. There's obviously going to be a lot more developments happening with this build as the motor and transmission goes in. So stick around on the channel. I'll try and give as much explanation as possible in terms of what's happening, why I'm doing things the way I am, and what I've used parts wise, so that if any of you are interested in doing the same thing, it won't be very difficult for reference to get the parts and to do this as well. So stay tuned. If you can, share the videos that I make. I'm not doing it for money, it's just for educational purposes, just so that I can get a little bit more information out there. Where I'm from, there's no information about this engine. A lot of the info I get is from the States and Europe. So this is just so that us in South Africa, we've got a reference point when building these engines. So stick around and I'll have a lot more for you as I build and install.